Let's answer the burning questions, which would be, is Classic Era still played? Are you able to catch up? Are you behind? I want to talk about a little piece of propaganda that people seem to have internalized. They think that gear actually matters a ridiculous amount in Classic, but I can prove that it doesn't because I have multiple warriors and they're world buffed and I have consumes in my bags. We can watch the stats actually change. Most people would have an opinion like this. If a warrior was in full BIS gear and I was wearing pre-BIS gear, they'd have like double my stats. But that's actually really, really incorrect. In fact, it's so incorrect, it would be embarrassing if you told somebody that and then you actually went and just measured. So let's do a little measurement ourselves and see what our characters look like. Right now we'll have this, Legionnaire Ape from Tree. This character is in not full BIS, but it's really quite good. You can see my items are awesome, and some of the items that are awesome don't have stats, so like that does make it just a little lower, but I am very close to full BIS on this character. Let's go check out my crap-geared warrior, Jake from Tree. Now, originally I was Ape from Tree, and people would call me Jake in raids, so I made the next one Jake from Tree. That's how I got that name. Let's look at how this character has no gear on, except for this, because if I don't have this on, then it'll say 0% on the crit. Now, I do have world buffs. Let's crack them. Interesting. So if I crack my world buffs and I compare it to a character that's almost full BIS, do you see how similar the stats are? When I have literally no gear on. I have no gear on, all right? And it's close. What happens if I put on Pre-BIS? I don't want to go into what all these pieces are, but it's crafted blues from AQ20, and then like Tiger Gear, and these two epics. This all is pretty easy to get. Now what are my stats? Let's compare it to the character that's almost BIS. Oh, so I'm actually a lot more geared than the character that's total BIS. I would smoke myself if it was me and BIS versus pre-BIS and world buffs. Okay, cool. Well, what about if there wasn't any world buffs? We just compare pre-BIS to BIS. Let's check the stat difference. Look how tiny the stat difference is. It's really not very big. There's only one thing that like makes this feel a little substantial, is that warriors don't scale linearly, so the differences between these, it's basically going to be scaled up quadratically, but it's still not a big deal. Look, you have 10% more AP on the character on the right. You have 25% more critical strike chance total, you see, because it's 5% out of 20, and then the hit's close. Once you put in consumes on top of this, it's going to diminish the difference even more. Now, you're probably worried about gear because you're thinking you're not going to be able to get into the cool raids. And yeah, like on this character, if I just hit up random people, they wouldn't trust me. Why would they? But I've been able to get in raids and gear like this all the time. Naxes and AQs, plenty of times in the past. All you got to do is hit some people up and talk to them and perform well in a 20-man. If someone sees you smoke people, they're not going to care. That's proof. That's evidence. People don't want to let someone in their raid with gear like this, because what ends up happening is if they don't know you, you're going to experience adverse selection. Most people with crap geared characters aren't passionate people trying to get back into the game. They just don't care at all. They want to get carried. So you have to dispel that belief in someone's mind, or they're not going to let you in the raid. But it's really not hard. You just got to show up to like a ZG with somebody and then ask. This might bring up just one more thing that you're wondering, which is, are the era servers dying? Are they on a crash course to be totally dead? And I play on Horde, and you're noticing how many people are running around to Ogremar, right? It's 1 p.m. Central Time right now on a Tuesday. There's like nothing, Wednesday, sorry. There's nothing going on, yet there's all these people here. And here are the actual stats showing how many people are playing. You can see there's like twice as many people almost on Alliance. And the number of people playing on Era has gone up about 50% since SOD launched. SOD launched, Era went down a ton, and then it started climbing again. I bet it's going to keep on climbing. A lot of people, they want to play this version of the game. It's an excellent version of the game, and gear actually matters less in Classic than all the other fucking versions by a lot, okay? You get to water it down with consumes that matter, with world buffs that matter, and your pre-BIS isn't actually that much worse than your BIS. So there's really no reason you should consider yourself behind. You could jump in and be productive in a raid and get 99s right away. You're not behind. You're not missing out. You can get in and do this.